Welcome to this class. And we are going to start off with having a lie down and a stretch out and just feeling into what's here for us this morning. At the beginning of this new term, just bringing your beginner's mind to the position that you adopt for your beginning of the class, for the relaxation. So it might be that you want to just change your posture, change your position a little bit. Perhaps have a stretch first before you find your still place. So just doing what you need to do, getting what you need to be comfortable. You might want to have a cushion or something behind the back of your head, a blanket if it's just going a little bit cooler. If your lower back is a bit tender, or if there's a pull, you might want to just bend the knees and place the feet hip distance apart, healing into whatever you need right now. And if it's comfortable, closing your eyes. I just automatically take a couple of deep breaths in and out. So you might wish to do that too, to find a sense of landing, of arriving. So very often we sort of look after the more gross experiences of just getting here and finding a posture. But as we start to tune in a little more, there are more subtle shifts and changes we can make to ensure that we're more comfortable. So you might want to shuffle the shoulders away from the ears if you feel there's not much of a gap here. Taking the arms a little bit further away from the sides of the body and allowing the hands to come, the palms are uppermost, the fingers curl. Checking in with the spine, and if there's quite a curve in your lower back, you might want to just tilt the pelvis a little to connect the spine with the floor, or place something in that curve to support you. So you can feel into the whole of the spine and the neck, the chin tucked in a little to lengthen along the back of the neck. And then considering the hips, the knees, the ankles and feet, separating the feet out maybe a little bit wider, allowing them to flop out to the sides and sense into the hips. And then checking in all the way back up with your face. Just noticing the expression on your face, and with your awareness, just allowing that to just smooth and release the muscles of your face and the jaw and the tongue, the scalp, the brain. Aware of the whole of the body being supported by the earth and how that feels for you. To surrender your body into the earth. Feeling the breath, sensing the ebb and flow of the breath. Riding the breath with your awareness. by that I mean to follow the whole of the breath from the first instance. You can feel it entering your body through the nostrils, coming up and across the back of the throat, and the inflation of the lungs and the effect that has on the body, the expansion of the chest, ribs and belly. And riding the breath with your awareness on the exhale. How the body just flattens and contracts a little bit. You feel the deflation of the lungs and perhaps slightly warmer, more moist air leaving the body across the back of the throat, down through the nostrils and away. Noticing the effect of the breath, the more subtle effects of the breath in the body. So we always first feel into the movement of the belly, the ribs and the chest, but bringing that sense of curiosity to see if there's actual movement in other areas with the breath, or there's a resonance, perhaps an energetic resonance of the breath through the rest of the body. So for instance, as you breathe in, do you sense something of an opening in the hips and the shoulders? And as you breathe out, a sense of just closing in a little bit in these areas. And does that ripple effect of the breath go further for you? Just feeling that ripple of awareness. Noticing the stillness of the body, the ripple of awareness, and how that impacts on your feeling tone, on your mind. And in particular on your sense of connection with yourself. Bringing yourself back home to yourself. And then inviting you to deepen the breathing a little. And with that deepening of the breath, you may want to start by wriggling the fingers and toes, maybe beginning to stretch the body a little. So just listening to your own body and what it needs this morning. You might not have done any mindful yoga for a couple of weeks or more. So experiencing the body as it is right now as you start to move. So you might just move very gently, or you might really want to do some stronger stretches. Pushing the heels and pointing the toes. Maybe going from side to side a little, as I am. Just taking in interlaced fingers, pressing the palms away from you, taking the arms over to the right and pressing the left heel away, and then doing that to the other side. Starting to feel into the stretch all the way down the side of the body, through the waist, opening into the rib cage. Just taking your time each side, feeling into the lengthening of the back, and then doing the same with your toes pointed. So as you go over to the right side, you're pointing your toes away, and notice that that creates a different sensation through the body. Side to side. And then very gently bringing your knees up into semi-supine with your feet on the floor, hip distance apart. Just maybe adjust the lower back so that there's a feeling of the lower back pressing down into the floor a little. Take a breath in, breathing out, bring the knees to your chest. So give them a hug. You might just place the hands on the knees and draw them down. You might want to wrap your arms around and bring them in. And then with the knees and the feet together, the ankles together, let's just have a little rock from side to side. Doing this gently, there's no rush. Noticing if you've taken any tension up into the shoulders. If you have been resting your head on a cushion, taking that away. And maybe taking that rocking sensation a little bit further. Playing with that edge. And notice how your core muscles engage. Easing the spine, the lower back, and bringing that stillness and placing your feet back down on the floor, and bringing the heels as close to your bottom as you possibly can. The arms down either side, with the palms facing down, so there's a sense of groundedness through your feet, your big toes in particular, and the hands and the arms are there to support you, as well as the shoulders. Take a breath in as you breathe out, drawing in through the pelvic floor, pressing down into your big toes, and peel the lower back very gently up off the mat, keeping the feet, knees, hips aligned. And then gently, as you breathe back in, slowly back down. So we're not going to go into a full Dvipadapitam. We are going to just gently rock the pelvis, coming up and down, just peeling that lower back gently off the floor. Easing up and down. Contracting through the core, feeling the hip flexors, the thighs. Keeping the neck nice and soft. So just looking after your own back. It might be that you just want to do more of a pelvic tilt than peeling your back up. But if your back feels strong, you might come up a little bit higher each time. Noticing what feels right for you. And then gently allowing the lower back to come back down, and let's give the knees a hug once more. Just feeling the back starting to open a little maybe and release. And then let's pay attention to the hips a little bit more. So both hands on the knees, pressing the knees away, separating the knees and the feet as wide as you can, circling them around and then bringing them back together. So the knees together, pressing them away, separate the knees and the ankles and then bringing them back together. So that's it. So just listening to my instructions again, pressing them both knees away, separating them. So both knees and both ankles separate. That's it. Lovely. And then round and in. Perfect. So we're just starting to warm up into the hips, and notice how one hip might go a bit further away from you than the other. That's what I'm noticing. So just being aware of what's here for you, taking it slowly. You might want to keep your hands on the knees, or if that sort of feels a bit of an impediment, you can do this sort of in a free-flowing style. It's entirely up to you. Wonderful. And then just having a pause, a breath, and then back the other way. Easing around. So the knees go out and round, and they meet in the center away from you, and you draw them back to the chest. Good. Feeling into the hips and the lower back and the core. And then when you feel you've done that evenly, both sides, placing your feet back down on the floor, hands on the belly, close your eyes, and just have a few mindful breaths in and out. And then have a lovely long stretch. Take the arms up, push the heels away. And then we're going to very gently bend the knees, roll over onto the side. Have a rest there before we start to ease up. Good, and come into cat. So we're going to come into cat posture with the knees below the hips and the hands below the shoulders, spreading the fingers wide. Checking in with where your head is, so your head should be aligned with the spine, with the face just looking down, and the back nice and flat, and a little bit of tone in your belly so that you're not sort of just flopping down, just giving it a little bit of support. And then taking a breath in as you breathe out, drawing through the pelvic floor, the belly button coming to the base of the spine, rounding the back, bringing the chin in, hooking everything under, and then gently and slowly releasing and lifting the head. Soften in the elbows, so there's no rigidity. You can bend through the elbows a little bit. You're starting to flow with that movement. Just easing up and back, continuing to sense into the whole of the spine, one vertebra at a time. So we mobilized it from lying into Ippadapitham, and now we're just doing this from the other direction, if you like. Rolling the shoulders forwards as you arch the spine, and then rolling the shoulders back and feeling the heart coming through the shoulders and lifting as the head comes up. Really lovely to feel into that sensation of the opening of the heart center. Good. And then coming back to that center point, really soften through the elbows. And we're going to take the head down to the left elbow and then coming up and then down to the right. And at the same time, start to really wiggle your hips from one side to the other. Just taking the head from side to side. Might hear some nice little noises, as you probably are from me. Just taking the head towards or onto the elbow, bending the elbow. Taking the hips from side to side, taking care of the knees. All of your joints moving. Good. And then we're going to come into a threading the needle, but we're not going to be moving and threading the needle, if you see what I mean. And we're going to just ease your bottom down towards your heels, first of all. So just gently coming into sort of an extended child posture, and then take your left arm and thread it through the eye of the needle so that your shoulder, your left shoulder comes down to the floor, your head comes down to the floor. And then what I'd like you to do with your right arm is creep it away from you. You might even want to come onto your fingertips and feel that right shoulder really opening as your left shoulder comes down towards the ground. You can really take your bottom down towards your heels. Your left palm is up towards the ceiling. And feel the weight of your body through your left shoulder, and your right arm is creeping away from you as much as possible. And then opening your right arm, so you're sort of looking up underneath through your armpit. So you're turning your body. You might feel a little bit of a twist in your thoracic spine, just turning. If your neck is sore, not going into that twist, just noticing how you are in your body. See if you can create even more space by creeping your arm even further away from you, but not losing the ground with your left shoulder. Keep breathing. Really steady breaths. Well done. And then gently easing yourself from that position, coming back into cat. Maybe just doing a couple of rounds of cat and cow stretch, so rounding the back, softening and releasing. And as you're doing that, noticing perhaps a difference between your left and your right shoulder. Just having a pause. I'm going to turn around so that you can see me better. And we're going to do that on the other side. So first of all, going down into an extended child. And then taking the right hand and threading that through, letting the right shoulder find the floor. And then with the left hand, taking that up as far as you can go. I always like to come onto my fingertips because it feels like it really gives me an extra little bit of a pull in the shoulders and an opening there, but it is your choice. Feeling the shoulder opening, the settling down, the groundedness through that connection. And then taking a breath in, and as you breathe out, turning, that left shoulder comes right back, and you can turn your head to look up towards the ceiling. So really opening through the chest, twisting into the thoracic spine, coming onto really onto your fingertips now. So you're creating like a cup with your fingers, lifting the shoulder right the way back if you can. The left shoulder peels back, and there's an openness through the chest. And turn your head to look up at the ceiling. Obviously, if your neck is sore, then not doing that. But keeping the ground through your right shoulder. That's it, John. Lovely. And then slowly and gently easing yourself out of that. Coming back into cat. A couple more rounds of cat. And then separating the knees and sinking down into an extended child. Just momentarily giving yourself a pause moment. So the feet are together, the knees are separate. And then easing yourself up. Keeping the knees apart. And then bringing your hands, I'm just going to turn this way so you can see me. Bringing your hands around so that you're turning your hands to the outside and easing them like that. So where the carpal ends are down towards the floor. So if you turn them right the way back, no, not that way, Neil, the other way. That's it, that's it. As far around as you can go. So going easy on yourself, some will have more range than the others. So if this is all very easy for you, you might want to ease yourself back and round the back a little bit more, and that stretches it out. If it's too hard, then you can lean yourself forwards. And if it still is too easy, you can move your hands forward to increase the range, increase the stretch, drawing in through your core, and breathe. Nice. Nice in a strange kind of a way. And then very gently peeling that back, coming to your fingertips. Oh, and having a little move around. My arms feel longer. Great. All right, so from this position, we're going to come into a place where you can take your right leg out and your left foot isn't quite touching your thigh. And you're going to need a little bit of space for this. I'm just moving my mic a little bit further away. So first of all, drawing in through the core, feeling that lifting up through the spine. The shoulders are down. And we're going to do this quite slowly to begin with, and then take it a little bit faster. So taking the arms out to the sides, rolling the shoulders back and down. So you have a real sense, which I'm going to have to move forwards a bit. You have a real sense of the engagement of the shoulder blades down either side of the spine. And then take a breath in, breathing out, bring the left arm over towards or onto, if you can, the right foot. The right arm comes behind. If you can't find your right foot, then your knee or your shin is absolutely fine. Just holding that twist. With the right arm, you can just place it on your body with the back of the hand on your lower back, if that's more comfortable. Just let the head come down. Feel the breath. And then we're going to gently lift up. Take the left hand down to the floor. Keep that right hand traveling, and we come up. So we lift up off the floor and bring that heart center through. Turn the palm up to the ceiling and hold that there. Drawing in through the core. And then gently and slowly back down. And we're going to do that again. Twisting. Hold on to the foot or wherever you can get hold of. Either take the arms straight behind or rest it on your body. And turn to look behind you. It's a nice twist, stretching all sorts of areas of the body. And then breath in. Keep that posture with the arms coming round, hand on the floor, and then lift up, press the pelvis forwards, palm up to the ceiling. Drawing through the core. Good, and we're going to just speed that up a little bit more. So we're going to do it breathing in the center, breathing out as you turn. Breathing in the center, breathing out as the hand comes down and you stretch. One more time, breathing in the center, breathing out as you turn. Breathing in the center, breathing out as you stretch and hold. So you're breathing in and out, pressing the pelvis forwards. Fabulous. And then gently and slowly down. Just bring yourself into seated. Close the eyes. And take a little time to perhaps feel into the difference between the left and the right sides of the body. Shoulders, the spine, the hips. And of course, we're going to swap over to the other side, knowing that this side might feel quite different. So, not letting the foot touch the thigh. Just give your knee a little chance, your hip a little chance to open. Just flexing that left foot, take the arms out to the sides, breathing in and breathing out. We're going to twist, find the foot or the shin or the knee, hand. And breathe in that position. You either keep your arm extended, your left arm extended, or placing it on the back with the elbow bent. Just allowing all those muscles around the right hand side, the back, and through your hip to stretch. This all takes a little bit of time. Engaging the core with the next in-breath. Coming up, arms extended. And as you breathe out, just bringing your hand down, the left arm up and over. And looking up from underneath. So you're turning your chest up towards the ceiling. Really reaching up past your ear, palm uppermost. And as you just do that, feel the difference that makes. Sensing into that. Hold it and breathe. And then gently and slowly down, as elegantly as you possibly can, transitioning back to that twist, holding onto the foot. And this time, see if you can draw the left shoulder back and turn the body a little bit further to see behind you some more. And then doing that again, extending around, pressing through. The left foot, really the sole of the foot connected to the floor, turning the palm up, feeling into that stretch. And then gently down, and we're going to speed this up so that you're breathing out, holding the foot, breathing in, coming to the center, breathing out, sweeping through into that movement. Breathing in, coming to the center, easing around, holding the foot or the shin or the knee, breathing into the center, and breathing out, lifting, hold there, breath in and out. And then gently and slowly back down, coming into Vajrasana, into kneeling. If you need to have a block between your bottom and your heels, you might like to sit on that, or something underneath your knees. We're not going to be here for very long, but just gives us an opportunity to just have a pause, to feel into what's here in the body right now. Interlacing the fingers, pressing that away, bring the arms up, and a gentle ease from side to side. It's nice and soft. And then from there, taking it, circling it to the right, taking it down across the front of your body, circling it to the left, and come up. Pause, breath in and out, breathing in, taking it around to the left, down, in front of the body, around to the right, as far as you can go, back up to the top. Pause, and then softly allow those arms to come down, interlace the fingers behind the body now. Straighten the arms, pressing the heart center up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in and breathing out. Just gently let that go. Just notice how you feel in your arms and your shoulders. Bring your hands into prayer. Closing the eyes, a breath in and out. Checking in maybe with your heartbeat. And we're going to come up to standing from this position, so you might need to move your block out of the way. But it's coming up, keep your hands in place if you can, your right foot forwards, and coming up on your left foot. It's coming up into Tadasana, into mountain, standing, heart-centered. Feeling how this adjustment to standing is experienced in the body. And then allow the hands to come down and the feet, give them a bit of a wiggle. I'm going to interlace the fingers again, pressing them away, taking them up above the head, just as we did when we were in kneeling. But this time we're going to bend through the elbows as you take the arms over to the right side. So stretching down the left side, breathing in, coming up to the center, breathing out, doing the same the other way. Keeping the core strong as you just go from side to side a few times with bent elbows. Leaving the breath. Just letting the head go, opening into the neck. And then coming back up and letting those arms gently come down, have a roll of the shoulders. All right, so we're going to go into a wide leg posture. So one leg length apart, if you can kind of judge how long your legs are. And we're going to turn the right foot out completely. And the left foot is going to be on sort of a bit of a quarter turn. So it's not completely at right angles to the heel, it's just slightly turned so that you can feel, if you let it flop, you'd feel your body weight sort of going onto the outer edge of the foot. But what I'd like you to do is initiate the ankle and press that left foot down. The right foot is just nice and stable, the toes are spread, and your hips are still facing forwards. Okay. So we're going to take the arms out to the sides. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, we're going to just roll the arms back and roll the shoulders back and down. And as you do that, notice what happens in your core. And then holding those shoulders back and down, just roll the arms without moving into the shoulders. Is that possible? Let's have another go. Take a breath in. Breathing out, roll the hands round and see if you can roll those shoulders back even further. Notice what happens in your lower back. If you find that you're pressing your pelvis forwards a little, draw it in, bringing the belly button to the base of the spine. And then as we go to roll the hands back down, see if you can keep the shoulders in the position that they were. Good. I'm just going to roll the hands up, the palms up one more time. And then bend through the right knee. Take a breath in and breathing out. Bring the elbow down to the thigh, just stacking up the shoulder with the elbow. And then that left arm comes up and over. Drawing in through the core. Some nice deep breaths. If it feels right for you, you can turn that left palm up to the ceiling and you can feel just a little bit more of a stretch through the outer upper chest, intercostal muscles, and breathe. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to just slide the hand down towards the foot, the ankle, the shin, the knee, whatever feels comfortable for you. And with the left arm, we're going to lift that up and bring it behind. Just place the hand resting in the small of the back of the hand there, and then bring that left shoulder back. And turn the body so that you're looking up towards the ceiling. And then the next stage of this is breathing in, breathing out. See if you can straighten through that right leg. If you can't straighten it, and just keep a softness in the knee. We can go into Trikonasana with the left arm coming up, with your head turned to look up at the left hand. If that's sore on the neck, let the head come down. You don't want to overstrain the neck at all. Drawing in through the core. Feel your body working. Nice deep grounding breaths. And then very gently turning the body to the right, placing both hands on the floor. As you do that, turning the left foot around so that there's still a little bit like a quarter turn on that left foot. Both hands either side of the right foot. Take a breath in as you breathe out, so you can straighten that right leg even more and fold down over the right knee. You're stretching out through the hamstrings on the left leg, the heel coming down towards the floor. Notice if there's tension in the shoulders, just rounding the shoulders down, using your hands on the floor just to steady yourself. The head comes down. And we're going to transition out of this, so listening to my instructions to do so, is we're going to bend through the right knee. We're coming up onto the toes, a little bit of the left foot. Both arms come up behind you, sweep around, and we come into a lunge. So the front knee is bent, that back leg is as straight as you can possibly go. Both arms up. Warrior one. Drawing in through the core, the pelvis under. Nice. And then easing yourself back to the center. Walk your feet in towards each other. And let's stand, hands in prayer. Feeling the heart. Feeling the whole of the body, and maybe how it feels quite different, certainly does in my body, between the left and the right. Noticing any areas that feel open and warm and stretched, and other areas that might feel contracted or a little out of alignment somehow. Well done. And we're just going to come out of that and repeat on the other side. So if you remember, we take it to leg length apart as best we can. We turn the left foot out, and then the right foot, there's like a quarter turn. Just making sure you're feeling stable. The hips are pointing forwards, so they'll want to roll around, but just drawing them forwards. Good. Arms out to the sides. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, just rolling the palms up, which means that the shoulders roll back and down. Feeling through that and the difference that makes in your core and your lower back. See if you can keep the shoulders where they are as you turn just the hands around, palms down to the floor. If you feel that your back is rounding a little, draw in that pelvis, belly button. Let's do that again, just rolling the hands up. See if you can take the shoulders back and down even more. And then gently let those hands come down. And then turning the palms up. Take a breath in, breathing out, bending through the left knee. Keep the knee above the ankle, not going any further than that. The pelvis is pointing forwards as best you possibly can, and then let the elbow come down to the thigh as the arm comes up and over. Just release into that left hand. Often we hold a lot of tension in that left hand when we're in this position. Turn the palm up to the ceiling. Keep breathing. Maybe reach a little bit further if you're able to. Bring that shoulder back a little bit more if that's available to you. And then breathing in and breathing out. I'm going to bring that right hand into the small of the back, the left hand coming down onto the foot or the ankle or the shin or somewhere else. Roll the right shoulder back and look up towards the ceiling. And then if it's possible for you, extending that leg, the left leg a little bit more. Take the right arm up. Turn the head to look at the right hand, drawing in through the core as we go into Trikonasana. Sensing into the breath. Just looking at the screen to see your arms are lined up with each other. If the neck is sore, turning to look back down at the floor. Keeping the core nice and strong. Take a breath in as we transition around to face the left. Turn the back foot to a quarter turn. And come into a straight leg. As straight as you can. The heel of the right foot heading towards the floor. Folding down. Releasing in the shoulders. And up on the fingertips. And we're going to transition out of that, coming up onto the toes of the right foot. Both arms sweep around, come up. So standing into a lunge. Warrior one. Just lifting up, holding it there. Really drawing in through the core, making sure you're not going in too much of a lumbar curve. It's all looking lovely. Take a breath in, breathing out, coming back to the center. Oh, walk the feet in towards each other. It's coming into mountain. Close the eyes. Maybe noticing your heart rate, your breathing. And as you take a full in-breath, sensing into the energy coming up from the earth into the center of your body. So drawing in. And as you breathe out, feeling it coming from the top down into the center of the body. So breathing in, bringing it up to the solar plexus area. Breathing out, that you're drawing it down into the center. So having a sense of that for a few breaths in and out. Lovely. And a little shake, a roll of the shoulders. Just a step aside and then easing through. Let's just very gently just let the hands flop against the sides of the body. And then coming along your mat to about the centre of the mat. Just softening through the knees, hands on the thighs, and we're going to just have a gentle roll down, breathing in and out as you go. Feeling the back opening, one vertebra at a time. And once you get there, just have a hang of the head, the shoulders. Bending through the knees. Walking the hands forwards. Keeping some weight going down through the legs, and then walk the legs back into a long dog. And then gently walk that forwards. Feet to the hands or hands to the feet. And then lengthen through the spine and lift head up. So we're just going to do that little sequence a few more times, bringing the head down, walk the feet away, into downward facing dog, walk the hands, the feet back to the hands, and straight in the back, lift the head, breathing out. Walk the feet back. One more time. Walk the feet to the hands. Straight through the back. Lift the head. And this time when we walk back, we're going to keep it there in downward facing dog. Just sensing into the shoulders and the arms. If you need to modify this, going onto your elbows. If it's too sore on the wrists. But then taking your left foot into the centre, the right foot lifting up, and then turn your foot out and in, out and in. Just a few times, and then bring that foot back into the centre. The left foot comes up, turn it out and in. Slowly down. Let your knees find the floor. Separate your knees. Ease yourself down into child. So both arms coming down either side of the body, if that's comfortable. Turn your head maybe to one side or the other, if that feels right for you. And either let your shoulders sort of drape over, or you might want to bring your hands, interlace your fingers and bring your hands into the small of your back. Palms facing upwards. Nice deep breaths in and out. Turn your head to the other side. Maybe change the position of your arms if that's comfortable. And then easing yourself up. And we're going to come into kneeling once more. You can either kneel with your bottom on your heels or put a block there or come up into kneeling like this. So it's entirely up to you how you kneel. But as we get into Vajrasana, it's having a sense of the core. So there's that feeling of lengthening from right from your pubic bone all the way up to the top of your sternum. You're lifting, imagining there's a piece of string coming up through the top of your head, bringing your head up into that space above you. Taking care of your knees, making sure that you're looking after them. Shoulders are rolled back and down. In this position, we're going to go into eagle arms. So taking the arms out to the sides, breathing in, breathing out, crossing the right arm over the left, above the elbows, and then holding onto the hands if you're able to. Turn the hands around as much as you can. The elbows coming away from your body and then up towards the ceiling. Taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to gently and slowly ease ourselves forward. So you have to control this through your core. Allow your arms, if they're able to find the floor. So the elbows, the arms, and then allow the head to come down. And then engaging the core, gently and slowly, taking care of your back, lifting the arms up. Unravel them. Just have a little shake. Arms out to the sides, breathing in, breathing out across the left, over the right. Holding onto the hands if you're able to, turning them as much as you can, or improvising. So it's left over right, if you did it the way that I did it the first time. Elbows away from you and then up. Feeling the stretch in your left shoulder now. Breathing in and breathing out. Let the elbows gently and slowly, there's no rush here, find the floor. Forearms, hands. Just allow the head to softly curl down. Breath in, breathing out, gently and slowly, calming back up. Unravel, have a roll of the shoulders. A gentle stretch from side to side. So it's nice and easy. Over to one side. And then the other. Do that a couple of times. And then inviting you to find a comfortable seated posture. So you might want to stay just as you are. You may want to bring yourself onto a block and sit in easy sitting with one foot in front of the other, or legs extended, or if you want to, you can sit on a sofa or just make yourself comfortable. Closing the eyes, sensing into the lengthened spine, the position of the head. Maybe allowing the chin to come down a little bit. And with the palms facing down towards the thighs or the knees. In the breath. Steady, calm and tranquil mind, anchoring the attention on the breath. And just allowing the hands to come with the little fingers resting on the thigh or the knees. Just let the fingers just gently curl, paying attention to the breath. So the shoulders are rolled out a little bit more. Noticing the breathing. Noticing where you feel the breath most in your body. And turning the palms up to the ceiling, maybe the thumb and the first finger touching each other. Paying attention to the breath. Noticing where you feel it most in the body. Being aware if that's different to the places you felt it most when you had your hands in the other positions. And then inviting you to maybe explore that in your own time a little bit more. So you might want to just take the hands onto the edge or go back with the palms down and see what feels most comfortable for you in your breathing. Whether you can sense into a change in the way that you're breathing, depending on the position of the hands. I'm starting to take some deeper breaths in. Maybe having a roll forwards and back. Just gently, gently reawakening the spine, reminding our spine to move. And then interlacing the fingers, turning the palms up, breathing in and breathing out. And namaste. Thank you very much.